What I like about Eric is it sounds also, if you look through your life, you've like failed so many times. You're
Yeah.
like failure.
Thank you.
You're a total failure.
I am.
And here you are.
Yeah.
And welcome everybody to another episode of the Asian Not Asian podcast. What?
I feel like you're talking quieter.
I feel I am talking quieter.
Because we're in a quieter space.
We're in such a quiet space, and it's like it's honestly freaking me out.
I can see you like kind of being muted.
I have never. I didn't think New York City could be this quiet.
I know.
You know.
I will say the moments when we were not talking, when we were setting up,
Oh.
I freaked out.
It's terrible. Have you ever done a sensory deprivation pod?
No,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
scared.
It's freaky.
Have you done it?
Yes.
How long? An hour?
An hour. And it's weird because I did this thing. My friend got me one and as a gift. Although I don't know why, because it was torture. So like
Yeah.
I sat in this. I float in this. You're naked and you're floating this tube, and the
Is it
pod.
dark?
It's so dark when your eyes are open. Do you think there's no difference between eyes open and closed?
That is
you cannot see your
scary.
you can't see your hand in front of your face.
Right.
Super duper dark, extremely quiet. You can only hear your own breathing.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing, and you're just floating. Oh man. I mean, some people really like it, but I think in the same way that some people really like doing like a lot of LSD and then going to a bad trip and then coming
Right.
out the other side.
And like learning about themselves.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I would rather not know about
Yeah.
myself.
You're not Steph Curry. You don't need to like prep for that.
Is that what he did?
Finals.
Yeah.
He loves the deprivation tank.
Oh. Anyway, so this episode is coming from you from inside a sensory deprivation tank, which is this podcast booth. We're trying it out. We're seeing how it is, and this is the Asian Not Asian podcast, the podcast with your Asian friends.
Mhm.
I'm your host, Mike Nguyen,
I'm Jenny Arimoto.
and it's a beautiful day here, and we've got a lot of fun stuff. We're just gonna jump right into it, but first we're gonna talk about our Patreon. If you don't know what that is, Patreon is the best way to support the podcast. Just go to patreon.com/Asian Not Asian Pod. Anyone who does it gets a shout out on the podcast, and you get a bunch of different other rewards, like we slide into DMs. We're having a couple Zoom hangs. We're having one next month. So if you want to get in on that, just check out patreon.com/Asian Not Asian Pod. And on these shout outs that we do for you guys, we guess your ethnicity. So we got some fun ones today. And we'll start with here, Tiffany Lee.
Oh my God.
This is just a good name.
Yeah.
Just a good name.
I feel like she's for sure like or maybe she could be your age too. Like my age, Chinese American. Like I went to elementary school with her.
Yeah.
In the Bay Area. That's how it feels to me.
I feel the same, and maybe she's even your height.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go that way.
Yeah. We were like best friends in second grade, I bet. I don't remember, but I bet we were. We were both in we both were the two girls not in Girl Scouts.
You should the two girls not
in Girl Scouts.
Tiffany Lee and Jenny Arimoto just hanging out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Not being in Girl Scouts.
Yeah, exactly.
That's her. We got it. Nailed it. Bay Area Asian.
Yeah.
For sure.
It feels Bay Area-y.
It does. It does feel Bay Area. This person went to Mills College. That's a deep cut right there. Super duper deep
That
cut.
is so specific to the Bay
Mills,
Area.
bitch. I'm so proud of myself for nothing. Okay, the next one. Ann Lee. I think it's she. Xie. Ann Lee.
Ann Lee.
She.
Ann Lee?
Anna Lee. Make sure you're talking to your mic. So.
Ann Lee. Sorry, I kind of
There you go.
don't know how these
I
professional
know, because
mics
we don't have the
work.
fucking...
headphones. I don't know.
Trust me. I'm upset.
If you're on video, watching the video, you can see us trying to figure this out.
Okay.
First of all, cool name.
Cool
Anna
name.
Lee. It's like a name I've never seen before.
Anna Lee, yeah.
Which
That's
I
a good
like.
name. Yeah.
What's J? J?
She,
Shay?
Xie.
Chinese?
I'm going to say it's Chinese. Yeah.
And
let's give this person some backstory here.
yeah. Anna Lee is a graphic artist.
Oh.
She lives in Savannah, Georgia.
What?
Yeah, like has like chosen a place that's up and coming, like small town.
Nice.
Has like really short bangs.
short bang Asian.
Yeah, and wears Dansko clogs. Like has like a Dansko clogs that she's had for like a long time
Yo.
from when she worked her restaurant like business job.
Yo.
and just like now they're so comfortable, and it's like second nature to always just be in your dance go clogs.
Yo,
And has like stick and poke tattoos.
dang. Why do you listen to this podcast? You should be listening to like, what's a cool podcast? I don't know, like another cool one. Feeling Asian. Get out of here.
Yeah, you should be listening to Feeling
We're
Asian.
we're for Tiffany Lee's, okay? We're not for Anna Lee.
I'm trying
short
to be
bang
an
Asians.
Anna Lee.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be an
you
Anna
are
Lee
trying to be
Asian.
an Anna Lee. All right, if you enjoy the podcast and enjoy this little banter, support us by going to patreon.com/Asian Not Asian Pod. Let's get started with our guest.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring on our guest?
I always get so nervous doing this.
I know,
This
it's
is what I
tricky.
wrote.
It's tricky to do.
Today we have an incredibly talented food writer who currently writes for the New York Times, author of the cookbook Korean American Food That Tastes Like Home, and just overall nice human. I did write nice twice on purpose because he's been very, very nice. Welcome to the pod, Eric Kim.
Woo!
Thank you. I'm so honored to be invited.
Oh my
Thank you
gosh.
for coming on, and I've been listening to your ASMR lip smacking for the last
laugh,
like
yeah.
5 minutes. So I can't hear Jenny worth a damn. You know what I'm saying? Jenny's so quiet, but in the background I'm hearing you.
Yeah, it's either out of habit or my mouth is really dry. But I also used to make ASMR videos.
Did you really?
You did?
Yeah, I've had many careers. But I used to be an ASMR guy. People used to stop me on the street and
Wait,
be
the
like,
what the fuck?
"You-" Yeah, it's sort of my little secret. I sort of came out as a former ASMR YouTube star in a New York Times column recently.
Whoa.
But it was like it kind of all makes sense.
No, it doesn't. Stop. Go back.
I
Hold
have
on.
so many. We
Wait,
have
hold on, go
just
back.
jumped in. I just recently got into ASMR.
Oh, you
like
did?
very,
Good.
very recently.
Wow. Yeah.
And now I'm obsessed with the world of it. But do you feel like you were in the ASMR world before there? Because there are now niches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really, by the way, I just solved my spit and did my mouth. You know that I have been there before
Yeah.
everyone else in the world was. No, it was 2012, and I think what was starting to form in that moment was food ASMR, like eating sounds
Oh.
specifically.
Yeah.
And that's around the time, I know this because videos at the time weren't showing the food or the person. It was like a blank screen.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
were like, oh, this is a
Oh, I
content sharing platform where you can upload eating sounds. And then all these people sort of started like, gathering around this centrifugal force, which is like the eating sounds community. And it was a really small community, and now it's huge, and now there are huge stars who like make their salaries on these videos. But I was doing it around the time when it was still very niche.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So what kind of like stuff did you do?
I like, sat on cakes and just kidding. I
remember
ate-
that. Oh man.
I just ate food. It was the point of my channel was to eat like fancier foods than what's normally eaten, which is like potato chips and junk food. And I also think the eating sounds videos, they're really closely tied to people who are working through their disordered eating. That's like a small niche part of
okay.
it. But it's something I've been thinking about lately as something that I was also like, it affected me in positive ways, I think. It's
Oh.
like you watch other people eating the junk food that you wish you
Right.
could eat. And then, so there's a lot of intersections in my life. And I think when I quit a PhD program,
What?
so I was like trying to become an English professor. And then when I quit that,
What the fuck?
my brother,
The further back we
I
go,
know,
I
it's all-
know.
it's
the
weird.
crazier. It's like, I was
We're
on a
at-
tugboat
I
for
know.
20 years. And before
I worked
that,
in oil
was-
in the railroads.
I
yeah.
used to be a unicorn. Wait, okay, hold on. Okay, there's so many questions. Okay,
I
hold
know.
on.
I feel like we're gonna have to really get into it.
No, we don't. We're gonna keep going back and back and further,
Yeah,
further
we
back.
can go
No, hold
very
on here.
far
So you were in a PhD program
Yeah.
for
For like 3 years. It was for English literature.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to become a professor, and it was just, I really liked academia, and so I was doing that. But that was around the time I started this YouTube channel,
Okay.
and so I was doing that on the side. And then,
You're eating food and just like it's
yeah,
supposed to be
talking about
fancier
my
food.
day. Yeah,
Oh,
talking about my
okay.
day.
So
Okay.
you
So
also
you talk.
So like, yeah, and it was these sounds would make people fall asleep, and anyway, the reason I bring up the PhD thing is, as I was quitting that, I like failed an exam, and I had to take it again or drop out.
Oh,
And as an
shit.
Asian, it's like really hard to drop out of something like that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But without another career option. But I called my brother and he was like, you've always been doing food. And it's just so funny that I always knew that this weird ASMR eating thing would result in like another kind of food career.
Interesting.
And
Wow.
so now I don't like eat in front of the camera. Well, I do sometimes, but now I cook in front of the camera. I just
Right.
think it's like it all kind of like makes sense. And that was a really important nexus in my life when my brother was like, you were never happy doing this other
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Like you were like studying all the time and reading and but we were happy when you do food. And all of my like little side gigs, hobbies were food related. And so that
Wow.
led me to the first job out of school ever, which was at the Food Network.
So it's like the food
Nice.
was always like the hot person in the background in your life.
Yeah.
Who you were like,
Yeah.
one day, and it was finally happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't even one day. It was like the food was like, what about me? Like
Right.
I've been here the whole
I've
time.
been here the whole
I was just
time.
imagining like
If
a
you could
Hallmark
see that,
movie.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
like the neighborhood best friend.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
The Taylor
Hey, we're
Swift
buddies.
video.
Yeah,
Live
yeah,
Along
yes.
With me. Yeah, for sure.
I think.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. You should do an ASMR though of you failing a class. You know what I'm saying? Like you like sharpening a pencil
Yeah.
and then like sweating because you don't know the answer. You're like
Oh my god.
Just
breathing.
I
just filling out a Scantron quietly.
That's a really detailed. You guys are really ASMR artists or ASMR people, huh? You're
That's-
like,
I
that's
really-
an ASMR video.
I love ASMR
Yeah.
now.
That's okay.
a
So
lot of role play and stuff.
Yeah.
can I ask?
I
Because
actually do have dreams like that.
where you're
where,
like
where I'm like gonna fail something.
You're gonna fail a
or like
class?
it's like school related. or
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't
wow.
get to class on
Yeah.
time because
Well,
my legs won't work.
So
and
just think
stuff like
about, if you're working through anxiety with food with ASMR, it would make sense that like you're sitting in the thing and you hear the clock ticking. Oh man,
Yeah.
that's like the worst. You're like, whoa, I don't know the answer to all
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just drowning. Oh, I'm thinking about it right now.
that. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awful.
we broke into it, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Failing test
Wow, this is deep.
ASMR.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have one where it's at Kumon. We'll have one
Yeah.
where you're like at a, in high school and elementary
Oh
school.
my God.
There's those little things.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that we're making this about ASMR now, but like I've always wanted to ask
No.
because I don't know that much
yeah.
about it, and so
Mm.
I was always like, is this like a sex thing? But it's not.
It's
and,
not.
And the one kind of ASMR thing I listen to is chiropractic videos.
Ooh.
Oh man, that's what I
Mm.
used to watch all the time when I would like kind
Like
of try to fall.
cracks? You hear
Yeah,
cracks?
it's like
Wow.
people like getting their neck cracked, and I was like, this
Oh.
is awesome, and I would just
Mm.
be like, so that's where
Cool.
for me, I was like, this is just like sweet and like
Yeah.
it just seems so like I feel like someone's cracking my neck, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, but you
Yeah.
can only crack your neck like once or twice a day.
Mm.
But if you watch a video where it's a compilation of like 400 cracks, and you're like, you know.
It is a satisfying sound. I feel people don't do it much anymore, but when I was growing up, kids would always like crack their
The
knuckles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why I'm saying that. Like, I have no idea what children do these days. But,
They don't do that anymore. Now
they
they're into
definitely
TikTok.
don't
Yeah.
crack their
They
knuckles.
don't crack their knuckles.
But it's true. You have your own kind of triggers that you discover slowly, and I'm learning about new ones. And what about you? Because
I
it's
like-
food for me. But
I like skincare ASMR.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So like facials.
yeah.
Like it's literally just
Yeah.
someone getting a facial, but they're mic'd.
Yeah.
So you hear
Oh.
just like the skin.
Oh,
like,
so someone
rubbing.
actually getting a
Yeah,
facial?
someone actually getting
Whoa.
a facial.
Whoa.
Or I like this other person who does a POV of giving you
Yeah,
a
I like that
facial.
too.
Yeah, and she has millions and millions of views and likes.
Yeah.
And there is a part of me that's like, why didn't I start doing this?
Yeah,
Yo.
I know.
Because I love it.
Yeah.
It's really relaxing.
Yeah.
But I recently just understood what that feeling is. Because then, similar to you,
Cool.
I feel like I'm getting a facial.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it
yeah.
feels like I'm getting like a massage or whatever. And so then I
Yeah.
like close my eyes and I, let my imagination run free.
I like the POV too because it's they're brushing the mic sometimes.
Yeah.
And they're like brushing your face.
Yeah.
And you're sort of
Ooh.
like listening to it
Yeah.
while watching it. But one common joke in those videos is "ouch, that was my eye," and like
Yeah.
just like such a harmless joke. But the ASMR community I feel like is very just like harmless. It's very like
Okay.
Totally.
gentle.
So it's
like,
not
introverted
got
people.
It.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I don't know, maybe.
Is it also the other thing that may be like this is sometimes I watch cars getting detailed? Is that one?
Sure.
Is
yeah.
that one?
Wait.
Is this
I
like the
think
straight
anything
man
Is it-
can be-
version?
Is it
Yeah.
quiet?
It's not.
Cars getting detailed.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not quiet. No, it's very
It's
loud in fact, because of like but I mean it's about like cleaning stuff and like
Yeah.
polishing and making it really
Ah.
nice and like I like seeing things get cleaned.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. I like that. I like watching power washing videos.
Yes. Okay. Is that related? Is that
I
kind
Yeah,
of?
'cause
It's
there's
like
dish-
it's like visual ASMR.
There's visual ASMR.
Whoa.
That's why.
Carefully.
That's why people like do this with their fingers.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is that? It's like, oh my god. It's like, you get sleepy.
Wow.
Yo. So, anyways, you're a chef, right? This is crazy.
This
No.
is so fascinating.
Well, I
love
mean, I
it.
think this is interesting that you started into this, kind of like through ASMR, you were got into food because, like,
Yeah.
would you say for you and Jenny, where we were talking before about kind of your approach to food? Like, I think some people, they have like a very technical approach to food, or they make it where it's like about being very homey or whatever. But it sounds like you have like, it's about like the sensory experience of cooking or eating or whatever. Like, do you see like a through line there?
Yeah, sure. I think I see it manifested in the TikToks that they make of my videos, like my recipes at work. So I don't know how to edit like that, so I can't do that.
Yeah.
But I wish I had that skill, and I need to learn really.
No, you
but,
don't. You don't.
But yeah, I just go into the studio and I cook like 3 recipes, and then I have an amazing producer, Natasha, who sort of films it, and then in like good light and whatever, and then they edit it, and I do a voiceover. And the comments I often get are, "Wow, this is really relaxing. Like he should do
Yeah.
ASMR." And blah, blah, blah. And so I just think it's funny. I see a lot. I think one thing I really notice in my life are the edges where things meet, like disparate things in my life. Like
Oh.
that ex-boyfriend like met my current like partner like years before we had met. Little things like one time I was having brunch in the apartment under Timothy Chalamet's. That's sort of like a
What?
story I want to tell one day. There's no story to it, but the point is that it's like the edge of like I had this running gag on Instagram where I was writing these like sex stories about Timothy Chalamet. They're like parody. Well, to me, they're a parody kind of slash fiction.
Yeah.
They're ridiculous and they're supposed to be a joke. Some people took them too seriously, but but also everyone was like really horny during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But so now whenever something happens to Timothy Chalamet or he has like a huge like Vogue cover come
Yes.
out,
Right, yes.
a lot of people will jokingly write, has anyone checked on Eric? And and I get people like send it to me all the time, and I don't get annoyed because I'm just like, I love that they think of me when they
Right.
see
Yeah.
him. So there was a moment when I was having brunch with like my partner, and it was just the situation felt so serendipitous that we were having that I like it was like right under his apartment.
Oh my gosh.
Just like it was like one of my partner's coworkers' apartments, and anyway, I just like that stuff is so random and it doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
And so I try to like connect those in my head because the stories are really fun, but usually it just seems like a jigsaw puzzle and it's just like you're waiting to get all the pieces. But
Oh wow.
so I don't know, it's not surprising to me basically.
That does sound like the beginning of an awesome slash fiction story. Right?
Oh,
Like, we
yeah.
were having
I know,
a
I
brunch,
know.
and then Timothy came out with his backless shirts or whatever it is that he's a meme for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
His
cool.
jaw
His jaw
could
so...
cut open the frittata that we were eating.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's a recipe at the end.
And then
for
there's
it.
a
and
recipe.
there's a frittata.
Get to the recipe.
Get to the recipe. This is so boring. Cause so much. There's
I
so
don't need
much.
to hear about your crazy life story with Timothy
Yeah.
Chalamet and his apartment in his
God,
backless
there's
shirt.
so much sex and all of his recipes. There's so much sex in it. And I just want to know how to make the frittata.
Back in the day when there's only a little sex.
There's only a little sex is okay, but I want, but like, what kind of bacon do I use? You know what I'm saying? Oh God, that's me. That would be me. I'm like,
That would be you.
that would be me. I'm like, okay, I need to get to the
Like,
bacon
get
part.
going. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. I don't know. But did you? I mean, Jenny, I feel you were talking about how, with Eric's cooking.
Yeah.
What was the way you said it? It's like it's about like.
I read the one that came out about the miso soup, which obviously I'm Japanese, so that
Yeah.
was like, to me afterwards I was like, I need to go home and eat my mom's miso
Aw.
soup. I literally was like,
Yeah.
I need it. But I feel like the way you write about food is so like tied to like emotions and I don't know, like if relationships and like just things that are very personal, whereas like I like food but I don't think about it that much. And so I was reading it and I really did afterwards. I was like, I have to learn how to make my mom's miso soup.
Yeah.
Like I had that
Yeah.
moment where I was like, this is such a staple. And I was like, this is literally like, it led to a miso soup recipe. And I was like, I gotta go talk to my mom, And so, yeah, I guess like what was my point about this? I guess like in terms of like food and like the experience that you have with it, was that always there in terms of like connecting it, or is that something that came later? Because it seems like you have an English background and like a writing background, or was that always like there in your head growing up in your family?
Oh, okay, I have a great answer to this. And thank you for saying all that. That's so like observant, and thank you for reading that one.
Yeah.
ASMR of compliments.
ASMR compliments. Well,
Literally,
actually,
I would listen to that.
Yes.
I would
You're a
argue
good
that like
boy,
one of my
yeah.
first food memories was sort of an ASMR experience. Like I remember growing up, the reason I liked watching cooking shows on TV was because the pan sort of like stirring. It was always like an overhead shot of like the pans, the wooden spoon stirring in a
Yeah,
pan.
yeah.
And that always was so relaxing to me for some reason. And I would fall asleep when my dad, would snack on, I don't know, salted peanuts. Later in life, a girl would open a bag of popcorn in the library, and I'd be like falling asleep. And so I don't know. I think food has always been very sensory for me, but it wasn't until I started writing, and I would say in college I was in this really incredible creative writing program at NYU, and it was around this time. I don't know what the staff is there now, but it was around a time when it was just so many stars, like literary stars, contemporary fiction and poets, and so I was able to take these workshops, and those creative writing workshops were like a nice intro for me to start writing about food and talking about food. And I remember that felt really cool because I was like, oh, only I can tell this story, because it's like my family's whatever dish and however we grew up. And like I remember this one poem I wrote. It was about like all the chicken soups in my life, and one of them was this tortellini soup that came from Campbell's, like a Campbell's can.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I remember the way my dad would show me how to like scrape from the top as you're eating, because that's the part that cools the fastest, and then that's how you get to the bottom of the very hot soup in order to like hop on the bus, because you have to eat the soup in like 10 minutes. Anyway, I have a lot of those memories, and I started writing about them, and I think they resonated with people because they tap into some kind of like early feeling, and then there comes a point where the whole nostalgic thing, I worry that it will come off, or someone will be like tired of it. It's like I'm so sick of reading about, like, no matter
Right.
what, I think my pieces always delve into like past, present, and future. So there's
Yeah.
always like a memory, and memories can be cheesy when they're
Yeah.
like on the page. It's
Right.
like my mother
Yeah.
burbling
Oh,
a pot
here
of
we go.
stew. Like
Yeah.
I hate writing that. So I try not to. But sometimes when I'm interviewing people, like in that miso soup piece,
Yeah.
it was this chef who had an amazing miso soup recipe, and it was also just like, I love these columns because they're sort of my opportunity to learn a lot about one thing really quickly.
Yeah.
And that man made the best miso soup I've ever had, and I got to call him and be like, how do you do it?
Yeah.
He didn't need to tell me his like secret recipe, but it's always out of just curiosity, and his little trick is a little sake and mirin in there.
Oh, okay.
And I like that. I like that tip because I would never have guessed that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you can always just drop in a little Timothy Chalamet if
Yeah.
you really want to spice up a recipe.
Exactly.
I think
Waiting for that moment.
I think I've been wanting to ask you. I'm glad you're here because my wife and son are ill right now. We went on a little trip and they got sick. It's nothing major, but like they've got a
Yeah.
really bad cough, both of
Yeah.
them. And babies when they cough it's sad and so cute.
Yeah.
And because it's like
Oh.
everything that babies do is the purest form, right?
Right.
They don't have any
Right.
put-ons with it.
Right.
They're not, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But his cough is he sticks his little tongue out and he's like, and I'm like, oh, you're sick. It's so cute. I've left them because I had to record here at this very quiet podcast booth.
Right.
But I want to make congee for them. So
that's
Vietnamese people have a form of it. It's basically the same as I think what most people would think jiao. We have that. Something my mom always make. My mom would be stirring it, in the pot, and Timothy Chalamet would be there, and it would be very romantic. And no, but I wanted to ask you if you had any kind of like, hey, this is like the put the sake in there, kind of like, hey, how to make it, what's up, this is the congee thing, because I owe them now because I have abandoned them.
Oh, like you need. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything,
Tips.
any little thing you can add in there.
This is how you should do it, I think.
Ooh, here we go.
I think starting with the whole chicken is incredible.
Boom. Yes.
If it's too much for you, you can get like bone in, skin on chicken thighs. But you know, the whole chicken's great because you just like put it in a pot, like the biggest pot you got. Fill that pot with a crap ton of vegetables, like, you know, just the usual onion, carrot, celery. If you don't have celery, use celery seed. That's sort of like a tip that I like. Bay leaves. The more you do this, the more you'll like finesse it to your own. Because I think a little star anise in there would make it taste a little pho-like. It's kind of cool.
Shit.
Cinnamon stick, whatever. However you want to flavor your chicken soup.
Yeah.
And what I do is I boil that for like 2 freaking hours.
Yeah.
And so it's just this really concentrated chicken soup. And then you strain it. It's kind of seems like a big deal, but like it's worth the effort because you like shred the meat once it cools down a little because it's so soft at that point.
Yeah.
The
Sounds
white
so
meat
good.
and the dark meat. And then all the like sheets of like skin also go in there, and I love that texture. And then what you do in that very clean pot of broth is you add rice to it. And I think a lot of people when they make congee or chuk, whatever, they add the raw rice, which makes a lot of sense, but you need more liquid for that to like cook down.
Right.
What I actually like to do is use leftover rice. That's how like my mom made it. That's how I think maybe that's how like a lot of Koreans do it.
Oh,
Like
really?
you make it because you have leftover rice,
Yeah.
and then you just like cook it down like almost like a risotto or something. You're just like really stirring it until it's to the texture you like it, and you add water accordingly. But what I really love doing after that, this is like if you wanted to get like chefy, you in a separate pan you like bring cold oil, like a lot of oil, maybe like an inch of like olive oil, with sliced shallots or scallions, whichever you like, and you bring it to a boil and like cook off the moisture, and those things will get like crispy, and you have a garnish which is like crispy shallot or scallion, whatever, and then you have the oil too, and the oil you like drizzle over at the end, and so it like flavors and like it doesn't like emulsify with the congee, but like it like adds richness that's nice. And then I always do like an egg yolk and furikake. I don't know, like I go all out with the congee sometimes. It's like I make it like a full thing because it's like really delicious.
Yeah, I'll probably do only one of those steps, but it was nice to have all of those
Yeah,
things.
getting
But, like,
I probably will like.
Yeah,
I
try
mean,
it.
you know, I
You
like.
got a lot of tips.
No, I
so
got
just
a lot
pick
of tips.
the one tip.
And the thing I like
the whole
to
chicken maybe.
Yeah, I think the whole
Yeah.
chicken for sure. That's going to
Doesn't
be.
even need the vegetables. You can just do the chicken and salt. That's what my mom does.
That just
with
sounds
garlic.
so good.
I mean, see, like that's the whole thing. Like that 2-minute long thing you just did was just like the
Useful.
most sensual recipe. Like I feel now I got a
Relaxing.
facial just
Yeah.
now too. My eyebrows are just so perfectly crafted after that recipe. So I think that all that comes through from. Your writing, the ASMR to the food, all those things like all combined together, and I was like,
thank
that
you.
was that. You telling me that recipe was congee. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
Oh
Thanks.
shit.
Congee
Thank you,
for your
thank you, thank you,
ears.
thank you.
It was ear congee.
Ear congee.
That's
That
so
is
nice.
really disgusting. Actually. That does not sound good at all.
That is not delicious. No, yeah. I mean,
thanks
well,
for
thank you
saying
very
that.
much. I'm gonna give it a shot. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
gonna be good, and I think I don't know. Hopefully, I can make up for being a terrible father.
An absent father.
Absolute father for being here. Yeah. We were talking before we started recording that you've been on Feeling Asian, so Young Me and
Yeah.
Brian and I feel like I feel this episode's all about those intersections, right? And like those things those like kind of misconnections you didn't even know you had, and you were saying that there's a lot of overlap between comedy and food. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
And I think
sure.
that's an interesting point. And we were talking about how Young Me has this really nice thing where she, like, you watch her things and it's like crazy Pee-wee's Playhouse humor. And, but then also at the end, you're like, oh, but I just learned how to make this thing also. She like
Yeah.
sneaks that shit in there. You know
Sure.
what I'm saying? It's like, and I think it's disarming for a lot of people because like you think it's just going to be like craziness, but then at the end you're like, oh well, actually now I know how to make tofu.
It's a really funny adjective for her comedy. I think it's also mixed with like Nicki Minaj. Like,
Yes,
you
yes,
know,
absolutely.
Violence.
yeah, there's violence.
God, I love her. Yeah, I think I was thinking about it on my way here how this is the second Asian comedian podcast I'm going on, and
There's
I
only
was
two,
like,
so there's
Yeah.
You hit two
I guess
out
there are
of two.
two.
No, there's probably like 5. But like, yeah.
5. But I was like, I like doing this. Like that.
Oh, yeah,
I think there's a lot. I mean, and as I listen to you guys, I'm like, there's a lot of overlap. I think Asian comedians and food writers or food whatever, like food people in media, it's sort of a similar vibe where your identity is a part of your craft and your art and what people are ingesting. And so I think to your point, Youngmi is sort of this incredible, Youngmi and Brian both, but Youngmi's like comedy and her TikToks, they're very visible. There's a lot of food in them. There's a lot of, it's like her interest, her path.
Yeah.
And I think the point is like, I'd like to, I personally would love to go to a place where people are like, oh yeah, Eric Kim, the writer. And I think food writer right now is the title and what I really love doing. And it's how I got into writing, I think. But, I think I don't really see what I do as just like one genre. And I think of, that sounds so like douchey, but like,
No,
No.
that sounds
I
cool.
just mean like, I like writing about other things.
Yeah.
And I think Youngmi's comedy is a good example of like someone who's able to intricately tie in everything because everything's related, everything's like connected. I just
Totally.
like don't think there's a need to think of to like block yourself off.
No,
Yeah.
I like
you
that.
know? So she's someone who does that. But anyway, her podcast is like one of the only times I get to like talk about non-food things,
Yeah.
and that's why I love talking about food, of course, and like I like black out when I do it because I love it so much.
Yeah.
But I just I think there's a lot of overlap, just like in what we do, comedians and food and.
Have you ever tried doing
No,
comedy?
man, I
Get
would,
out there and do a
Come
quick
on.
set at an open mic.
Yeah.
I think I'd be too embarrassed to. I used to. Oh, here's another past life.
Oh, God.
I used to do open mics. I used to like.
No, you didn't.
I used to play gigs.
Oh,
with
really?
a guitar, and I would sing.
Oh.
Wow,
Yeah, I wanted to
Eric.
be like a pop singer. That was like the original thing from like 12 to like 18. I wanted to be a pop singer. But
Wow.
that.
How old are you? Aren't you like 19? I mean,
I'm like 32 now. No, wait, how old am I? Oh my god, I think I'm 31, 32. I think I'm 32.
okay.
Oh no, I don't know. I think I'm 31. Sorry. God.
What?
We.
All right, I'm
You're
sorry.
here
It's
with,
okay.
like,
You're very
with
good
Eric-
with words. I can do the math.
Now, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. I wanted to talk about a time when I really got stuck on a problem. It was when I was first thinking about making that big move to New York, and instead of trying to figure things out, like where I was going to live, I just focused on how afraid I was. It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when you're under a lot of stress and facing challenges, but a therapist can help you find a better mindset so you can accomplish your goals. I use my therapy experience to help me realize when I'm having intrusive, unhelpful thoughts and to refocus on solving my problems. I use the skills I learned in therapy to this day. I even use them today. Therapy can be like a set of tools I carry around with me everywhere I go. If you're thinking about doing therapy, consider BetterHelp. It's affordable and it's online, which is important because I think anything that makes therapy more accessible is great. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/Asian today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Asian.
What's the best part about fall?
Mid-Autumn Harvest Festival?
Leaves changing?
Sweater weather?
Well, whatever it is, this autumn, make sure to get your updated COVID vaccine.
Protect yourself and others by getting an updated COVID vaccine, especially if you're planning on getting together with family. And if you are 50 or older, you are at greater risk for hospitalization and death, particularly if you have a chronic disease.
So get an updated COVID vaccine now. Find out where and more info at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Like no idea. I think I'm 31.
We're here with Eric Kim. He's so elusive, he doesn't even know how old he is.
I don't know how old I am.
Just, what
Man.
is a number?
The last few years have just been.
No, yeah. We all froze at 2020.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah,
So
for
I
sure.
understand that. But okay, so you used to do,
Anyway.
but you used to do like music as well.
Music.
That was interesting.
Yeah, and one thing I enjoyed was the storytelling part. I wrote little stupid like love songs, and so I would write about these failed relationships before and make people laugh before
Yeah.
the set, and then I would sing, and that the joy that like that feeling you get when people laugh, that's a good feeling.
Oh my
And so I was
gosh.
thinking about you guys, and I was like, that's a really good feeling. And it was the episode I was listening to with Kathleen Kim.
Yeah.
Kathleen Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys were talking about a comedy room, and if someone like how Asians laugh like this.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
'Cause-
Yeah, you
Man,
cover our
and
mouths.
I literally do that too. I don't know why. It's like it's the modesty built into the culture.
Yes.
But I like that you were encouraging people not to cover their mouths. It's
Yes.
like laugh openly, let the comedian see your teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Know that
I want to see
they're
your
enjoying
esophagus.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Esophagus.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah,
a
yeah.
show recently where I tried to move people forward.
Yeah.
It was all Asians in the back.
Sure.
And I was like, hey guys, like it'd be really awesome if you could just like get closer to us because then we can hear you. And they did not move at
Nope.
all.
Nope.
And I really like, because my Asianness, I was like, but if you're comfortable there, don't force yourself to
yeah.
do anything. But I really try to get them because I was like, when you laugh, I really already can't hear you. And then when you're like way in the back, I really can't hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really tried, but Asians be Asians.
Yeah.
Respectful.
I do. Yeah. Be a little disrespectful.
Yeah, we need a little bit of disrespect.
Yeah.
Throw a tomato. It'd be great.
Just interact
Like a nice
with us.
heirloom tomato.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. I mean, like, what was your music like?
Yeah.
Uh,
It's just you with the guitar.
Yeah, usually. Sometimes I had like a backup, like a lead guitarist. I was more of like, I would more strum. It's hard to talk about it because, from the outside, I like making fun of it because it's so like silly. It's like, you make fun of that guy who was in high school carrying around the guitar,
Yep.
with the John Mayer hair,
Yeah.
and whatever. But I was kind of that guy, and
Yeah.
That's sweet.
I don't know, and I like it was around the time when Michelle Branch and Vanessa Carlton, like these people were huge, and
Give me a piano
Classics.
on a flatbed truck.
I
Oh
know.
my God.
great, right?
Yes, drive through a working class town.
Yeah.
Ah, my God.
yeah. And I feel like this was like quietly my week because Michelle Branch came out with her new album. Timothy Chalamet came out with that Vogue cover.
Yeah, congratulations.
My column came out as
Yeah.
well.
That's
this week.
amazing.
But
Yeah.
I was just like,
Heavy hitters.
I'm in line with these guys.
Yeah.
No, but I really there's something about like the vulnerable teenager who like teeny bopper to be honest, but like teenager with a
Right.
guitar writing love songs. And it's like going on the radio. That was like really appealing to me. I was like, man, I like that. That's like a lot of power. It's like,
Yeah.
I wanted the reach. And anyway, I enjoy the music was very like pop, like early 2000s pop rock kind of John Mayer, Michelle Branch vibes. But I think I saw that music sort of come out of favor. It just like wasn't cool anymore. And
Yeah.
so the way I sang, the way I wrote, wasn't in fashion anymore.
Yeah.
By the time I was like in New York and like playing gigs, I was like, oh man,
Right.
this isn't gonna work. But also I just like fell out of love with it so I went into academia. But it's definitely like a thing in my life that I'm just like one day maybe I could like go back to it.
Yeah.
Whoa, yes. This
they're
is
similar-
the time. We're in a booth.
But we're in a booth,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
We're in
Yeah.
a booth. Check your
Let's-
levels.
Let's record an album.
an
Yo,
album
let's
right
do
now.
it right now.
That's like one of my favorite jokes is being like, are we starting a band? That's like one of my favorite things to do.
I was in a band in high school. We were called the Eric Kim Trio.
I want
Whoa.
to. What do you think this Eric Kim sound would be now?
Oh,
What's the sound?
okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's one thing that I've thought a lot about.
Ooh.
What I listen to now is just not at all what I played back then, and what I listen to now are the kind of the
metal,
gay
yeah. Oh,
pop
okay.
stars who are really like so confident in writing these
Yeah.
like amazing ethereal EDM-y like love songs, and so Troye Sivan and Ben Platt are two I listen to a lot, and
Yeah.
I think about like if I were younger and I had role models like that would have made a big difference. Like, wow, you can be like this really confident, cool,
Yeah.
like sexy, like gay guy singing about boyfriends, and they're huge, and I like their music, and so I think it would be a little bit of that like EDM vibe,
Yeah.
pop, and kind of like relaxing, chill,
Yeah.
something to like overlay your Instagram story with.
Or like make like a TikTok trend
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like I don't know, that people living their lives in a romanticized way.
Yeah.
I spent so much time on TikTok.
I don't know what you
Nice.
guys are talking
I
about.
know.
at all.
I went, what looked directly at Mike. Mike had no reaction.
I was like, are you speaking English?
Yeah, seriously.
I know the words. I just don't understand.
Conceptually, I have no idea what you're talking about.
What I like about Eric is it sounds also, if you look through your life, you've like failed so many times. You're like
Yeah.
failure.
Thank you.
You're a total failure.
I am.
And here you are.
Yeah, that's why I am the way I am. Yeah,
That's
there's
awesome,
a lot
though,
of
that
fun
you've
things.
had all these lives.
Yeah, I think I like describing them as failures for sure. It's like not something people think to ask about or talk about,
Yeah.
but those are all like failed careers.
Yeah.
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 I mean, they happened when I was young, but like I don't know. I'm still waiting to fill this career so I can like become a true crime podcast like some person.
The real passion comes out.
Yeah.
Reporter. Yeah,
True passion.
true crime.
Well, I mean, I do think that, looking back, you like picked up all these things, what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
And then you're like use them, like, I don't know, ASMR in some ways, that you
good,
picked
yeah.
up an ear from playing open mic guitar,
Yeah.
and then you were a writer, and then
Yeah.
do all these things. So
Yeah.
it's like, like you're like rolling up all the skill sets
It's all
into
related.
like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool to
What's-
think about that.
Okay, let's just say New York Times calls you, hey, we have to stop the newspaper. I don't know what they would say. It's gone.
Okay.
Everybody's fired.
Everybody's
Okay,
fired.
everybody's got
No
fired.
more.
Okay, no more crossword puzzles. Actually, that's the only thing that's left.
Okay.
Crossword
Wordle
puzzle.
is the only thing that
Wordle's
survived.
the only thing that survives. What does Eric Kim do now? Now that you failed yet again, 15th failure. What's
Yeah.
the thing? Okay, what am I gonna do? What is Eric Kim gonna go into the open world and do now?
Okay, I was joking about it before, but I think the more you say it, the more it like becomes real. And I'm a huge true crime. Like,
Yeah?
I'm actually a true
really?
crime fanatic.
Oh,
so
okay.
Okay.
I do this big drive from New York to Atlanta and Atlanta to New York. Because I have a dog and I like bringing her, and she gets to run in my parents' yard in Georgia. But I need a lot of content for that drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
How long is that drive?
It's like about 14 hours.
Oh shit! Are we
Wow.
serious?
Yeah. So this last drive, I listened to one that was just so riveting that I drove the whole way 14 hours straight. Yeah, it was crazy.
What?
What really helped also was Starbucks. They have these crazy energy drinks that I'm afraid to like look at the ingredients, but it's just like insane
Really?
how weak you are.
Oh my god! So you were chugging Starbucks energy
Starbucks.
drinks, like
Starbucks.
listening to true crime.
I assume wearing an adult didiaper because you didn't stop.
No. I did stop for peeing. And, I mean, my dog has to pee too.
Okay.
But okay. So my point is, I was driving recently because I was reporting a story in the South, and when you're interviewing people about their food, I can't help it like think about how it's soft launching like a career in interviewing people about like something more serious. Sorry, not
Oh.
more serious, but like something more urgent or something.
Yeah.
Because it's like practice, and I'm like, this is exactly what true crime podcasters do. They have to like if they're really reporting the
Right.
story and solving it.
Yeah.
Like that's my dream to
yeah,
like have a
solving.
hit podcast
It's
and
very
then
only
Yeah.
murders.
Yeah.
and have it like do well and also be the person, the genius brain who like solves the crime
Yeah.
for the
Oh,
police.
that's the best. Hell yeah, dude.
Undoing
you know what I'm saying?
centuries of unjust. Anyway, whatever. Police corruption. I'm really obsessed with this. And anyway, I think my point is that as I report at the Times and work on these stories, I'm learning these hard skills, and I'm just like, wow, these are really useful for a lot of things in life. And I look forward. I used to be someone who was really I still am. I'm terrified of like calling people.
Oh,
Like,
really?
The
Yeah.
phone, talking on the phone.
too.
I'm like really awkward when
Yeah.
I have to record my interviews, and the sign off is always so awful, and I always have to listen to it to be like, it wasn't as bad as I thought. But it's just like really hard to say bye to people on the phone. 'Cause
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a millennial, I guess, or something.
I don't know how to use this thing.
Yeah. Well, we can't confirm your age, so we don't know.
Yeah, we don't
Right.
know. And you yourself cannot confirm.
Yeah,
your
no
age.
one can
literally can't.
confirm.
Yeah.
The internet even got it wrong, and I was really glad because there's this like website. It's like whatever people's like birthdays.
Oh yeah.
And they
Oh.
like kept emailing me. I was like, "What's your birthday?" I was like, "I don't want people to know my birthday."
Yeah.
And they just like guessed from like one of my Instagram posts or something, and they got it like wrong. And I was like, "Yeah, that's great." So like all these people think that's my birthday. The
That's
age
incredible.
The age is correct, I think, but the birthday is
The
wrong.
date is wrong.
And
You
I'm
should
glad,
start
'cause-
posting birthday like posts every other month.
Yeah.
So like people,
Happy birthday!
See if anyone noticed.
People people have no idea what to like submit to that website.
This might be a really boring subject, but
No, it's not.
I've thought a lot about birthdays and birthday parties and like celebrating
True
them.
crime birthday podcast.
It was
Crime
Mike's birthday yesterday.
It was.
Happy
And
belated.
Thank you so much.
What'd you do?
What's that?
What did you do for your birthday?
It's very sad, but now that I'm a dad, and parents are always
Family's
like,
sick, yeah.
I just want like I just want my family there, and it's true. I just
Yeah.
want my like for my first Father's Day, we went to a nice restaurant, and it was just my son who slept the whole time, my wife, and I had like a martini, and then I got a instant read thermometer. Oh fuck.
Cool.
Yo, let me
Yeah.
tell you this,
That's
okay? Your
serious.
true crime podcast needs to be centered around an instant read thermometer. That shit can solve crimes. But it was like amazing,
Yeah,
and like that's really what I did. I just like
Cool.
hung out with like the people who meant the most to me. So it was like my family, one of my really good friends came over,
Yeah.
and then I inadvertently hung out with a couple comedians, which was like whatever.
cool.
I could. No, I'm just kidding. It was great. It was really nice. But you know what I'm saying? Is like my circle was really small,
Yeah. I
and
like
that was what it was.
Hey.
But yeah. Okay. So you want to be a detective? This is great. You and I, we have the same.
Yeah, but
I
we're talking
always
about
want.
birthdays.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I can finish it for you because like okay, here's my thing.
Okay.
I think living in New York City is really hard,
Mm-hmm.
and people's time is really limited. So, when people have a birthday party, it's always like you have to travel like an hour and a half to get to some crazy like weird random Brooklyn bar, and then you don't even like end up saying hi to the person because there are like 100
They're
people there.
Yeah,
busy,
there's like
yeah.
3 people.
And so I just like I really hate birthday drinks. I hate like when I go to like my closest friends like birthdays, but I just like don't like them. And you're not allowed to say that. Like you're not allowed to. But
Birthday drinks, you mean not your friends?
Birthday drinks.
Yeah, okay.
It's like the party.
Yeah,
The
the
party.
obligation
Yeah.
to go. It's
I
like
see.
I'd rather go hang out with my friend because I decided that day I want to like see them.
Right.
And I'll
Right.
travel to them. But it's more of like, a birthday is obligation. It's like no matter how busy you are, you have to go.
Yeah,
And I
Right.
hate that
yeah.
obligation, and so I usually just don't go anymore. And I send them like a nice note or like a gift or something. But it's sort of. I've been thinking about that with my birthday because I was like, I never want to obligate anyone. And
Yeah.
this year I went to Martha's Vineyard because I was doing like a book talk,
Oh,
and
nice.
and my boyfriend couldn't come, so I was like kind of alone like on my actual birthday.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting invited by this lovely man and his wife. They're like food people too, and they just like took me out to lunch and showed me the island, and then took me to the beach. And we found this like amazing thing called the Cut, and it's like. Twice a year they cut a little section from the ocean, like the shore, to the lake, and they create like a passageway
Yeah.
so that the water can like come through. And it has to do with like the ecology and to make sure like the temperature like evens out or something. But for those like few hours, that's like a water slide. And you get to
Whoa.
like jump in and like the ocean shoots you into this lake. And
That's awesome.
Wait,
it's really
that sounds
cool.
so fun.
And I'm just hanging out with this older couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like in their I don't know, sorry, they're like older, and I'm just like a random kid that they've like kindly like are choosing to spend the day with, but they don't realize it's my birthday, and I'm like, this was a really lonely birthday because I wasn't with like my family or
Yeah.
my partner and all this stuff. But at the same time, I had a great day and it was really, really magical, and I liked that I didn't have to tell them it was my birthday. I was just like,
Yeah.
Oh.
this is a great birthday, and I didn't
That's
tell anyone.
nice.
It's not like humility.
It's not like a thing where
Right.
like
It's more just like. I don't know why that makes me so uncomfortable. I hate asking people to come to things for my birthday.
Oh, wow.
I love doing
it.
it.
Really
I
bothers
mean,
me.
literally, I am the opposite.
Me too.
You are?
I'm
Okay,
like,
yeah.
bring-
And so
come,
I'm like-
you have to come. You must
Yeah,
treat me
that-
like a prince for one day.
I get
Yeah.
on your calendar like months ahead and like
Good,
just
good.
remember that's the day we're
That's good.
celebrating.
But I
me.
also like going to birthday obligation.
Oh,
things.
cool.
Because for
Yeah.
me, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
But I
you know,
understand that
but
feeling.
I understand what you're saying.
But we've talked about this before. Mike does really well in a room full of people.
Yes.
Like you can
Oh,
talk
wow.
to groups of people.
The more people there are, the better
Whoa.
it is.
yeah,
usually
like
for
you can like move very like
Nice.
seamlessly, whereas like I get very anxious.
Me too.
me.
And I know that feeling, which is like I would prefer just like a one-on-one dinner where
too,
we like
yeah.
get into it.
Yeah.
So when it's my birthday, I love it because then all the
Having a
people
big
I
thing.
like are there.
Yeah.
But
Right.
when it's like someone else's birthday, I understand that it's like very stressful
Mm-hmm.
because then you end up talking to like people you don't really know that well. And
Yeah.
you're just kind
Or
of
like sometimes.
yeah.
But to be fair, I think I would do very poorly in a artificial water slide that goes from the ocean to the pond. I'd be like so bad at that. I'd
Yeah.
be like, oh my gosh, what do I do?
Yeah, Mike is really bad at that.
Oh my gosh, my worst nightmare. An ecological artificial water slide.
I can work a room, but I can't do
Yo.
this.
You guys want to do shots?
Yeah.
The water slide won't do shots with me. It is a shot of ocean water into the pond.
Mike is the shot guy.
I am the shot guy, for sure. I'm the shot guy.
like
I'm the
that.
early morning yoga guy.
I'm the follower. I love when people say shots. I'm like, yeah. But I'll never recommend it first.
Yeah, yeah, me
Okay.
neither.
Well, for my next birthday, I'll invite you, but you don't have to come. And then maybe
thanks.
for your birthday, we can dig a canal or something like that. That would be
Sounds
cool.
good.
Artificial water is all. It's what's
when we
about.
figure out when your birthday is, we're gonna
soon
do
as we
that.
figure
When
it out.
Eric's birthday, we're gonna do it.
For his 89th
Yeah,
and
80
or 15th birthday, which is
figure it
May
out.
24th or October 13th. Who knows? We're going to be
We're gonna go nuts.
We're gonna go
Thanks
crazy.
for talking about that. I just wanted to get off my chest. Yeah,
The
No,
birthday thing.
yeah, the birthday.
I
thing.
love talking about stuff like this, like people's like
Yeah.
really specific, like hard opinions on things. I love.
Social, contracts.
Yes.
Things like that.
Yeah,
I'm
Totally.
fascinated by them because no one talks about them.
Yeah. Also,
Oh,
some
yeah.
people, it's
Agreed.
more important for them. Like that night that you show up is more important than other
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
sometimes, like, if you don't show up, this friendship's over.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
people
That's
like
a
that.
thing.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
my sister is the person who has like a very elaborate birthday.
Yeah.
She has like she
Yeah.
spends a lot of money on the parties
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she wants people to go. But then she is the person who will, if somebody has a ridiculous birthday, she will be like, okay, they did this thing. For her, the contract is like we're bonded by our ridiculous birthday requests.
Aw,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
that's really cute.
It's like, oh, you made me have a pony ride, and
Yeah.
so for in return, I will make you go on this hot air balloon.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that like strengthens the relationship.
Yeah.
In her mind.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm like that.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I don't really care about my birthday. And I fully have had a birthday where we're on a boat. You know what I mean? Like, I got a boat and made everyone go on a boat in the Bay Area.
You did?
That's
yes.
awesome.
When was it?
2016.
Oh shit! How
I
could you
was-
afford a boat back then?
It's like a really small boat, and I had like met them through a work thing.
Oh, I see.
And then I like organized a spreadsheet, tracked costs, made everyone pay a
Oh,
certain amount.
yeah.
And then like we would cover like alcohol or whatever, but I was like just like pay X amount to like cover the boat fees.
Nice.
I'm like in my mid 20s at this point.
Yeah.
Good organization.
And that's like
Yeah,
the
that's what
classic
it
me
is.
thing. I'm like, we have to organize to have fun.
I
But every year I'm like, I don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
I like try to get a boat. I've tried to go to bus before. Like it's just like a party bus where you drink on a school bus.
Jenny, would you
I'm exhausting.
would you prefer actually just if I gave you a spreadsheet for your birthday, just like here you go. Oh no, the Excel function's broken. Try to fix it.
Yeah, if you were like you have to track costs to like make something happen, I'd be like, let me do it.
Yeah.
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 That would be the
There's
gift
always
to me.
that one
That
friend who
would
does
be
that.
That's
would be-
me.
That's great. That's fantastic. Okay, so we're with our guest, reporter, chef, detective, water slide enthusiast, Eric Kim, and we're going to do some voicemails. And if you want to leave a voicemail for us, the number is 646-809-7231. It's 646-809-7231. We love hearing from our fans, and we got one we're going to try out right now. Let's see.
Hi, Mike and Jenny. My name is Amanda, and I just wanted to call in and say hi. I love the show, and lately I have been a bit of a lonely Asian. So recently went through some stuff. I ended a 7-year relationship, moved apartments, and like our friend who called in a couple of weeks ago, I'm an East Coast Asian, or half Asian, I should say. I'm half Singaporean and half Caucasian. And I also feel pretty isolated here on the East Coast. I'm in Massachusetts, about an hour outside of Boston. I grew up here, but moved out of state for a couple of years. And I've been trying to get more in touch with my Asian side, but I've never really had any Asian friends here. And I'm just finding it really hard to find any sort of community, let alone an Asian one. I can't even find a place that can cut my hair properly. So I'm also a runner, and I'm struggling to find running groups too. I had one when I lived in Columbus, Ohio, but it seems like unless I'm in the actual city of Boston, there is not much. So, everything ends up being a bit of a drive. It costs a lot to park down there. Public transportation's kind of crap. And with the cost of living being borderline unaffordable up here, it's just, I'm not sure that it's worth it. So what do you guys think? Should I try to find somewhere else that's even slightly more affordable, but is also diverse and accepting of people like me, who's an Asian female person? Does that even exist? Who knows? But thanks a lot, and have a good rest of your day.
Ooh.
Wow.
Lonely East Coast Asian. My advice would be find yourself a nice older couple that will take you under their wing.
Take you in.
Don't tell them it's your birthday.
Yeah.
And have magic unfold. No, it is tough. It is tough. And we've heard from other other listeners before, you know, if you're in the Midwest, you're the only Asian person there. People can't even cut your hair right. You know, this is a big problem.
Yeah.
You know, what do you?
I just had a moment where I was thinking through, because affordability is sometimes not
That's a
really
big one.
something that comes into our conversation.
Yeah.
When we talk about diversity, we're often not touching on affordability.
Oh, for sure.
So then I just had this thought: where is affordable that is diverse?
Yo, that's such a good question. So like, I was actually in Cape Cod this week, and you know, I was like, you know, whatever. We had an Airbnb and we were like bopping around, and everybody, it's kind of like past the summer season, so it was just all like the locals, and it's like very retiree energy there, right? It's just a lot of coastal grandma, it's a lot of Patagonia dad, and it was nice, but like I like happened across like one of the, you know, like some real estate thing, and it's like multi-million-dollar houses,
Yeah.
right? You know, and I was like, there's like not anything to do here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's not like work where it's like I'm going to be making tons of money. So it's like, you know, the wherever you go, you always feel like the question of like who can afford to live here anymore, right? Is a big thing. So I
Yeah.
like that. I like that thing about and of course it's Cape Cod.
Right.
Like there was only one person of color I saw, and it was my son. That was it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, there's a person
Yeah.
of color right there. No, there were, but like, you know, there's a lot of like people of color who were like working.
Right.
So that question of where can you be that's diverse but also can be affordable,
Yeah.
and you know, and is, you know, offers what you want. That's
Right.
a tricky combo.
It's really disappointing that like nothing is popping up in my head right
Right.
now.
Yeah. It's really hard.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah. What do
Because
you,
I think of metropolitan areas, but that is like the least affordable place.
it's super hard to live here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
For sure.
Even California, even if you go out to like I mean, California as a whole is fairly expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Um.
I don't know.
It's a tough question because I ask myself this all the time. I mean, I've lived in New York for 12 years now, and every year I'm like, is this the year I'll escape? And
Yeah.
then something happens where it like leaves, like latches me on for like another at least decade or something. But I think.
What about what's it like in where you're from?
Yeah, I was gonna say Atlanta.
Yeah.
A lot of young people are moving there. Either they're moving back home or they're, and Atlanta's pretty freaking diverse.
Right.
Yeah.
Korean is the third most spoken language.
What?
Oh, wow.
Just to give you an idea, it's very Korean, I guess, but it's also lots of other Asians. We grew up like being like, which pho place do you want to go to? And
Well,
you know,
yeah.
and Atlanta's diverse in that there are many different kinds of cities, and you know, you could probably find something affordable. I think there are more expensive areas, of course, and things are changing, but it's just like, I don't know. I fantasize about moving back to Atlanta sometimes because my partner's also from there. And,
Okay.
and my brother moved there recently, and I've always been like following him kind of because
Yeah.
he's like a big brother, and he did the New York thing first and then LA, and then but it's interesting to see him like set his roots down in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And choosing the high school that his future children will go to, and it's like our high school that we went to. I'm just
Oh,
like, it's
wow.
weird. And so that kid's gonna go to that high school and like see his dad's name like on a plaque that's like about art or whatever. And it's just like the lineage when you think about. I think there's like a deep Asian lineage in Atlanta.
What's your brother do?
He is a motion graphics artist. This is the part where I'm like, God, I like still really don't know what he does. It's really fancy though. He's a compositor,
Okay.
and the way I explain it to people is that he's like responsible for the explosions that happen in
You're
like
like-
Marvel movies and
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
He's responsible for the explosion. That's great.
and yeah, I hope he never like listens to stuff like this because it's like sort of like Chandler on Friends. No one actually knows what he does
Right.
the whole series. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I feel that way about my brother, but now he's like.
So it's something. It sounds kind of
very
cool,
artistic.
artistic,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Okay.
like
He gets
technical.
to do it from Atlanta.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
It's a big
awesome.
deal. It's a big deal.
So you're saying maybe there are some places
Yeah.
where, you know, you kind of dig into the community a little bit more,
Yeah.
and you might be able to find
Yeah.
like a little
Yeah.
niche for yourself.
But I really resonate with her because it's about finding like where your like soul like is
Yes.
attracted to,
Oh.
and I think my body loves like places with water. So
Mm.
Portland,
Yeah, I
Maine,
love water. Yeah.
Portland, Oregon. I love SF, like Bay Area. I love
Yeah.
I love New York, of course, but like I'm always attracted to those places,
Yeah.
and they feel like future second homes. Like I'm always just like, people associate me with Maine now, and it's because I go there every year and I love it, and I want
Yeah.
to live there one day because it's like by the water.
Right.
I love water.
Yo,
Clearly. We've talked about water a lot, I feel
what's-
like.
So you have to like listen to like what you like. I think.
Yeah,
I think. It's
totally.
like what city vibe do you like, and maybe Massachusetts isn't her vibe, but I also don't know anything about Massachusetts.
I was just about
It's
to
very
say I know
diverse.
very little about Massachusetts.
I
It's
could
very
see it
pretty
being
state.
very white.
It is,
Yeah.
I think, very
Yeah.
white, but it's a pretty place. But I see what you're saying. It's almost kind of like like Martha's Vineyard has a really big African American community.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's more diverse than people
Right,
think.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think there are those pockets there, but you do
Right.
have to do some of the work in order
Yeah.
to find that. There's not a way, unfortunately, for Zillow to filter for that.
For like
By
diversity
spiritual
levels.
attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know,
There's not
yeah.
really that. I think that's a tricky one. So our thing to our listener, listen to your heart.
Yeah, listen. to
Find,
her. And I always feel like if you are unhappy or don't feel like you belong, you can try something else. And if that doesn't work, you can always go back.
Yeah.
That sounds like that's a very obviously there's a lot of like money and things involved with that. But I think like the only way, much like we talked about failure, the only way that you can really know anything is to try it.
Yeah.
So maybe it is time to just try something different. Maybe it is Atlanta, maybe it's somewhere else, and just see how it feels.
Yeah.
And go from there.
Did you see
Oh,
that
I
thing,
did
the
see
the
this.
3.5 star rule?
On
Ti-
Yelp.
I
Chinese-
saw that. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good. That's good.
Let's just listen to it real quick.
Yeah.
Easiest way to find authentic Chinese food, assuming you're living in a major metropolitan area, is to go on Yelp and look for restaurants with 3.5 stars. Exactly 3.5, not 3, not 4. 3.5 stars is the sweet spot for authentic Chinese food. P.F. Chang's 2.5 stars, bad, obviously bad. Din Tai Fung 4 stars, too many stars. Too many white people like it. The service is too good. The food's not as good as it could be. The dumplings here are better. I've been here. The waiters are not going to pay attention to you. They're going to be rude, but it's going to taste better. That's what I'm talking about. 3.5 stars. That orange 3.5. That's exactly what you want. Why is this the case? Here's my theory. Cultural expectations for service are different in Asia. It's not as proactive. They're not going to come up to you. They're not going to just proactively give you refills. You need to flag down the waiters. People on Yelp are insufferable. They're digging all these restaurants because the service is bad. However, the food balances it out, so you end up at 3.5 stars. It's the sweet spot. Trust me. The easiest.
Boom.
Okay.
A bunch of people sent me this because we used to have a segment on this podcast called Asian Yelpers, and Yelp is very annoying. And I wish there was a way that this is something I've been trying to petition Yelp for a long time, which is you should, as a Yelp person, like if you're a Yelper, you should be able to identify as a certain cuisine expert, and your weight for that rating is heavier for those cuisines, but then weaker for other ones.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like I'm a Vietnamese dude. You want me to talk about pho? I will tell you if it's good or not. Okay?
Yeah.
Not Brenda from, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay? Mike Nguyen will tell you. And so my pho restaurant thing should matter. Point of the story is that 3.5 star. I think that's such a good thing. All my favorite Korean spots and Vietnamese sandwich spots, 3.5 stars. That's always like what's going on.
I understand this. I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's less for Japanese.
Yeah, I see
Japanese culture is not
No.
like
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
but I understand for like Chinese food specifically. I can see this because I have gone to like the highly rated spots where there's like it's very crowded and
Yeah.
you're like fighting against having that experience. And like it's good, but I don't necessarily think it's better than the 3.5 star place.
Yeah.
I understand this. Like people are coming at it with like their cultural lens when they have
Yes.
a restaurant experience.
Yeah.
It's smart. I also think his point though is that it's that rating system is in regard to the food only.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
his main point was the differentiation between the service at a place that a white person would like rate a 5 versus like but I think that is I think it's valid because some of my favorite culinary like the reasons for liking a place that are culinary, those places are sometimes weighted less, but I would also argue that the experience is less like nice. Like I kind of wouldn't like tell someone to take their parents there.
Yeah.
I would tell them to go to the other place that has just a different Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Well,
It's
it
like you have
depends
your own bias.
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends. Are we talking about Asian parents who are wanting to have a high value?
Yeah, true.
That's
There's
an
a
interesting
difference.
like little like
There's a
extra
difference.
twist.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you take your Asian mom or dad to like a really nice restaurant.
Oh, I don't
and
do
they
that anymore.
no, and they're
They
like,
hate
oh my god,
Yeah.
this was how much, and they'll
Yeah.
complain, and they'll eat all the
Yeah.
food because
Right.
they're fucking greedy. Still. But like they'll just be so mad
Yeah,
about it the whole
they will
time.
be mad.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that is definitely
Yeah.
an issue. Yeah,
That's for real.
That's a thing.
yeah.
You
That
have to
is-
hit like a sweet spot
that's
with
the
the
sweet,
parents.
the 3.5 star,
Yeah.
and then the dessert for them is you show them the receipt and you go, look how affordable this was,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
go, they won't say it was good, they'll just be like acceptable. I feel for Asian, if
Yeah.
Asian parents were to use Yelp more, the best they would ever give it any restaurant, favorite restaurant they go to, twice a week, 3 stars,
Yeah.
But that's
max.
But that's for real. So I worked in Google Maps for the reviews
Oh,
reviews team for a
interesting.
while,
Yo.
and for real in Japan, because we had like big hubs where we focused. Japan, their ratings are consistently incredibly low.
Yeah.
Compared to like America.
Yeah.
Because everyone is that mindset
Yes.
where it's like 3 is good, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Definitely, nothing ever reaches a 5.
5, right?
So like everything's rated really low, and then in America, everyone's throwing 5s everywhere.
Well, that's sort of like the thing that like that now because of that inflation, everything now everybody's like, oh, it has to have 5 stars.
Right.
But really, nothing has 5 stars.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Are we talking about Michelin chef and it was only $1 and like they give you a massage? Like,
yeah.
You know,
and
so
then
like
they tell you that you're a really good person
Right.
and really talented. They're
Yeah.
just like whispering compliments.
right,
as you eat.
compliments the whole time, and Eric is there and he's doing ASMR also. It's like, okay, 5 stars. But you know, like the we're like obsessed with 5-star everything, but that 5-star now means nothing. You know, because
if everything is 5 stars, and what
Right.
if it's kind of valued?
it's valued less. Man, that's such an Asian dad mentality, dude. It's like, no, not everything is 5-star. You should be 3 at most or whatever, and only if you like did amazing you get 4.
But it literally is reflected in the data of
Yo.
these review sites.
That's fascinating. You know, and yet you still really want that 5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do want
exactly.
the 5. You do want the 5.
Like AP grades were on
Out
a
of
5
5,
scale
yeah.
basis,
Yeah.
and if you got anything less, you were like nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody. Got a 4, idiot.
Yeah.
Like,
I was very proud of my 4 in U.S. history.
I think I got
Nice,
1
nice.
3. I don't even remember for what
3.
it was, and I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
Like my life is falling apart under my
Oh, I
feet.
know.
Like,
I was like, I
Oh my.
failed. This.
Yeah, I failed.
But then it got me out of a class in college, which is like $4,000 for that whole course. So
oh.
it's like money.
Yeah.
That
Yo.
3, as long as you get a 3 sometimes.
That's
Yeah.
all you need
That's all
sometimes.
you
Yeah, all you
need.
need
All
is
right.
those
I wish more people
threes.
told me that. Like, be more average in high school, because
Oh
like
my
there's like a
God.
baseline where it doesn't matter anymore.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. I mean, after a
Gotta
certain
work too
point,
hard.
when your GPA is like 4.8, you're like, come on. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you look for the student who is getting
Yes.
3s.
3,
Yes.
6.
So, yeah, 3,
3,
6.
5.
That's a kid who's like, I can do the work.
Yeah.
Okay, but I got other shit going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm exploring things.
I'm exploring. Maybe I'm smoking a little weedy weed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I got.
I didn't do that till too late in life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like I
That's
got
great.
good grades, and look where I am now. Look at this. This is the place I'm at. This is terrible. What was I doing?
This windowless.
This fucking I'm literally in a
quiet room.
windowless box, talking about fucking nothing.
That's
that's-
what a 4.4
No.
will get you.
Absolutely. All the kids I knew in my high school who got like B minuses, they're all doctors now.
Yeah.
Okay, because they had you know they're like they had to they that was the mentality. They were like, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna work even harder. Me, I'm just like, whoa, I got an A. No. Oh, I licked this.
you
Gross.
did lick it.
Stupid.
Oh my
Okay.
god. Oh, it's true though. I like grew up, you know, like always needing that perfect score, because this is such a trope, but the joke, my mom said it as a joke, but I'd come home with like a 99. She'd be like, where's that extra point? And it's like,
yeah.
like she knew she was like messing around, and you know, she's not a normal like Asian or whatever normal means, but like she didn't care that much about stuff like that. But you know, now in life, I sometimes like I'll always remember in college that 1 B+.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
destroyed me. And it's so stupid that I cared so much, but it was just this teacher who didn't like me. And so much of college was just like, I don't know,
Yeah,
whether they
politics and
liked
stuff
you or
like
not,
that.
or whether they
Totally.
remembered you.
Yeah.
And then I did teach college classes later, and I was like, that's all it is. Like, did I remember who that kid
Yeah,
was?
yeah,
Like,
like,
I don't remember.
Yeah,
any-
yeah.
I have like like 40 kids like in a semester. And it's like, how do I remember all of them? So I don't know. Grading's so it's arbitrary, but we still really want that perfect score.
Totally.
So
We're
let's
valued.
normalize.
3.5 on Yelp
3.5,
and
yeah.
grade point averages.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you're loving the content, give us 5 stars on the podcast.
Yeah, don't rate us any lower
No,
than
but no, we need
5.
5
Don't
stars
do
on
a
the
4
podcast.
because that like ruins the ratio.
Yeah.
Throw us a 1. You know what? Throw us a 1 every
1
so
or a
often.
No, Mike.
Come on,
You
I
know
want
that I spiral when I see those ones.
see a one.
I spiral.
Oh yeah. That's
Well, thank you very much, Eric, for coming on to the
Yes.
show and
Yeah.
just getting weird with us, man.
it was so
Seriously.
fun. Sorry I didn't talk about food that much, but I would have.
No, that's
No,
perfect.
we
you
love
know?
this.
Okay,
Yeah,
good,
you want
thanks.
food stuff? Go to your New York Times
Yeah.
subscription. Okay, you want to talk about I don't know what we talked about today, but if you want that,
Yeah, birthdays,
Birthdays,
ASMR,
ASMR,
grade point averages.
grade point averages.
the only place to get it.
The moving bodies of water around. Okay,
True crime.
True crime.
Wow, we
Yo,
covered
we
a
hit
lot
everything.
today.
This is
Oh, we
what's
didn't
up.
do this though.
Oh yeah,
No, that's okay. We'll do that.
we'll do it after that.
Eric, where can our friends find you and your crazy career? Where can they find
I'm
you?
on all of the socials at Eric Chunho, JOONHO. You can see me on Twitter getting like unhinged at late hours, like tweeting things I regret, and then I delete them in the morning. So
Fuck
that's
yeah.
where you catch
Fuck
that.
yeah.
And on Instagram, I'm a little more polished, but that's where you get cute pictures of my dog.
Oh.
And then the New York Times for writing. Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Amazing.
You can always find the podcast at Asia Not Asian Pod, and you can find me on Instagram at Nice Pants Bro.
And I'm at Jenny Arimoto.
And until next time, go find your community, and that's it. I think.
Yeah, go find a random old couple to take care of you.
Boom.
Yeah.
Shouts.
And be their son for the day.
Yeah.
Get adopted.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.